Hello everyone and welcome to ServiceNow with Sky. Today we have a very special episode for anyone out there with their eyes on becoming a ServiceNow certified system administrator. Are you preparing for your CSA exam? Maybe you're looking for that final intense review session to make sure you're truly ready. Well, you've come to the right place. We are about to run through a massive, rapid-fire Q&A session covering over 100 of the key topics, concepts, and facts you need to know to pass. And to make sure we get the answers 100% correct, I've brought a special guest expert onto the show today. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Sky. I'm excited to be here. The CSA is a huge milestone for anyone in the ServiceNow world, and a session like this is a fantastic way to solidify that core knowledge.
Exactly. So for all of you listening, here's the challenge. I'll be asking the questions, and our expert will be providing the clear, concise answers. See how many you can get right before our expert does. This is the ultimate test before you sit the real exam. If you're ready to prove your knowledge and get one step closer to acing that certification, let's dive right in.
Let's begin. First question. What is the base table for storing SLA records, not the SLA definitions themselves?
That would be the task SLA table.
What are some of the possible sources for importing data?
You can use HTTP, CSV, Excel, JDBC, and SFTP.
True or false? All workflows must have a beginning and an end.
That is true.
Okay, next question. What does the banner frame contain?
The banner frame contains the logo and global navigation controls.
Which application menu is used to capture and move changes between instances?
You would use an update set for that.
Where can you find the response time indicator?
You can find it in the right-hand corner of Forms and Lists.
And what kinds of things are captured in an update set?
Things like field creation and table creation are captured.
How do you deactivate an application?
You click the pencil icon next to the application name in the Application Navigator and then uncheck the active checkbox.
What are the standard stages in a basic knowledge publishing workflow?
The stages are draft, review, published, and finally retire.
Last one for this set. What types of tables can't be deleted?
You can't delete base tables, for example, the task table or the CMDB/CI table.
Let's move to the next batch. How do you manage the format for record numbering for something like INC 000001?
You manage that by navigating to System Definition and then Number Maintenance.
Can you select all the correct statements about a metric in ServiceNow?
Yes. A metric is used to measure and evaluate the effectiveness of ITSM processes. It can gather data as the data is updated, it measures data over time to show past history, and the definition provides a declarative way of defining metrics.
What are the different ways you can create CMDB data?
The main ways are using an import set, running discovery, creating it manually, or using Help the Help Desk.
What is related to the high security plugin?
That would be the security admin role, which is used for elevated privilege.
True or false? Most customization of system behavior is done using UI policies.
False. While important, they aren't used for most customizations.
How can a user personalize the banner color?
They can do that from the Themes section in the system settings.
What do you have to do before you can edit a workflow?
You need to check it out. This prevents errors by locking the workflow.
What is the name of the search engine used for global search in ServiceNow?
That search engine is called Zing.
For which tables does ServiceNow automatically provide number records?
It provides them for incident, problem, request, change, and knowledge, among others.
What happens if we make the short description field mandatory at the dictionary level on the incident table?
The short description will become mandatory on all tables that are extended from the task table.
Let's continue. Can you give a simple definition of a workflow?
Certainly. It's a virtual representation of activities consisting of connected steps planned out in a sequential manner.
What is an agreement between internal departments to meet service level requirements called?
That's called an OLA, or Operational Level Agreement.
What are considered the major workflow activities?
They are approvals, conditions, notifications, tasks, timers, and utilities.
Which application menu contains details about the system's past upgrades?
That would be the Upgrade History application menu.
And who has access to the schema maps, tables, and column module?
Users with the administrator role.
If you have a subject line filled out on an email notification, as well as on its template, which subject line will appear on the final email?
The subject from the email notification itself will be used.
What does the attachment functionality do in a knowledge base article?
It simply provides a choice for adding documents as attachments to the article.
What is the main purpose of an import set table?
It acts as a staging area for records that have been imported before they are transformed into their target cables.
And what is a record producer used for?
It's used for workflow-based requests, like an emergency change, and for wizards.
How are users and groups related within the system?
They have a many-to-many relationship.
Next set, what does the format of a condition builder look like?
The format is field, then operator, then value.
What are the different ways you can bring users into a ServiceNow instance?
You can use LDAP, a manual import, or other similar methods.
How do you change the sort sequence of fields or tasks?
You modify the value in the order field.
How are referenced fields identified in the user interface?
They are identified by the reference lookup icon that appears next to the field.
Which of these belong to the service catalog? Catalog items, record producers, variables, or change tasks?
Catalog items, record producers, and variables all belong to the service catalog.
What is a schema map?
It's a graphical representation that shows the referenced, referencing, extended, and extending tables for a given table.
To allow access to knowledge articles without a user logging in, what must be done?
The knowledge articles can read setting must be set to public.
Once a service catalog item is built, what can you do with it?
You can publish it in the service catalog or group it in an order guide, among other things.
Which of these is not a field type? Duration, split, or script?
Split is not a field type.
What do requesters see when they go to the service catalog?
They see the self-service items that have been made available to them.
Starting the next batch. True or false? User passwords are also brought into the ServiceNow system with an LDAP connection.
False. LDAP is used for authentication, but the password itself is not typically stored in ServiceNow.
Where would you go to see if an administrator has impersonated another user?
You would check the system log.
When using update sets, the customer updates, or payload, is stored in which table?
That data is stored in the sys update XML table.
What can be used to join two tables together to create a logical view?
Database views can be used for that.
What is a ServiceNow event in simple terms?
It's an indication to the system that something notable has occurred, like a request being approved or a workflow being triggered.
When is an on-cell edit client script executed?
It's executed when a particular field is modified on a list view.
How do you get to the choice list for categories on an incident or another table?
You navigate to System Definition and then Choice Lists.
When a record is created or updated, where is that record actually saved?
The record is saved in a table.
What are the main types of client scripts used in ServiceNow?
They are on-cell edit, on-load, on-submit, and on-change.
Where is jelly scripting used in the platform?
It's primarily used in the content management system and in UI macros.
Next set, how does a user get the security admin role for their session?
Oh, they must select the Security Admin option in the Elevate Roles section of their user profile menu.
True or false, you cannot revert update set versions.
That is false. You can revert them.
What table is used to track all the changes captured in an update set?
That would be the Sys Update Set table.
And what are events in the system typically caused by?
They are caused by user actions and scripts, including workflow scripts and business rules.
Next set, what is an order guide?
It's a feature that allows a user to order everything they might need for one particular type of request in a single transaction.
Where does the global text search bar appear in the user interface?
It appears in the banner at the top of the page.
True or false, you can limit ServiceNow access by IP ranges.
True, that is a security feature.
What provides the guide for moving data from import sets to their destination tables?
Transform maps provide that guide.
True or false, update sets cannot be merged.
False, they can be merged.
What table is used to track all the changes captured in an update set?
That would be the Sys Update Set table.
And what are events in the system typically caused by?
They're caused by user actions and scripts, including workflow scripts and business rules.
Moving on. Which item on the home page typically has access to the knowledge base?
The News widget often provides access to knowledge articles.
The three types of SLA, which are SLA, OLA, and underpinning contract, are defined in which field?
They're defined in the Type field on the SLA definition form.
What are the out-of-the-box progress stages for a service request?
They include waiting for approval, fulfillment, and delivery.
What is true about deleting tables?
Generally, only custom tables, those beginning with U_, can be permanently deleted.
What are the main tools you can use to automate processes in ServiceNow?
The main tools are UI policies, data policies, UI actions, and various scripts.
What is something that is never captured in an update set?
A workflow that has not been published is a common example.
Which UI element is used to group related fields together on a form?
Sections are used for that purpose.
Which of these statements best describes the purpose of an update set?
Its purpose is to create a standard process for moving customizations from one instance to another.
What happens if a match is found using a field that has been marked to coalesce during an import?
The existing record will be updated with the information from the new import.
And what does SSO stand for?
SSO stands for Single Sign-On.
Next up, what is the list mechanic?
It refers to the gear icon at the top left of every list, which allows you to add or remove columns from your personal view.
What is the correct sequence of conditions in an SLA definition?
The sequence is start, pause, and stop.
Using incident, then create new as an example, which part is the application and which is the module?
In that case, incident is the application and create new is the module.
What is the key difference between a business rule and a client script?
A business rule runs on the server side before or after a database action. A client script runs on the browser or client side, triggered by user actions on a form.
True or false? Access to tables and fields is governed by access control.
True.
Can the default update set be marked as completed?
Yes, but if you do, another default update set will be created immediately.
What kind of details does a typical knowledge article hold?
It can hold known errors, user solutions, and troubleshooting tips.
And what is an access control list, or ACL?
It's a set of access controls or rules for a specific table.
And what are the three basic elements of a workflow?
The three basic elements are approval, notification, and task.
True or false? End users can personalize list layouts for themselves.
True, they can modify their own list layouts.
All right, next 10. What related tables does the schema map show?
It shows tables related by class extension or by reference.
How can you avoid creating duplicate records when importing data?
By using a coalesce field, the system will check that field for an existing value before creating a new record.
True or false? Resetting the list layout globally will overwrite any personal preferences users have set.
False. Personal layouts are generally preserved.
True or false? ESS users or end users have access to only the self-service portal.
True. Their access is typically restricted to self-service functions.
What is a CI?
A CI, or configuration item, is a tangible device or an intangible piece of dedicated software that is tracked in the CMDB.
What is an example of contextual security?
An ACL, or access control list, is a primary example.
What does a schema map display? Please select all that apply from the options.
It displays extended tables, extending tables, and referenced tables.
To what is an ACL defined and applied?
It is defined for a specific resource and applied to a specific role or user.
When relating to task SLA time-based fields, is the breach time the same as the planned end time?
Yes, that's true.
What is the significance of the order field on catalog item variables?
It establishes the display order of the variables on the form, listed in ascending order.
Next batch. What does an ESS user or end user have access to?
They typically have access to things like Help the Help Desk, visual task boards, and any incidents that they themselves created.
What is a SysID?
It is a unique 32-character, globally unique ID that is used to identify a specific record.
For a UI policy to be applied to all views of a form, which checkbox should be checked?
The global checkbox should be checked.
True or false? Users cannot read, write, create, or delete data unless an access control explicitly allows it.
True. The system is deny by default.
Which of the following is an example of a custom table name? Project, custom, sys_scripts, or u_incident?
The table named u_incident is the custom table.
We use blank to interact with ServiceNow using the blank API.
We use JavaScript to interact with ServiceNow using the Glide API.
What JavaScript engine does ServiceNow use for server-side scripts?
It uses Rhino, which is a Java-based implementation of JavaScript from Mozilla.
Could you please list ServiceNow release versions in order from Aspen to New York?
Of course. It's Aspen, Berlin, Calgary, Dublin, Eureka, Fuji, Geneva, Helsinki, Istanbul, Jakarta, Kingston, London, Monroe, and New York.
In ServiceNow, there are two main frames. What are they?
They are the main ServiceNow frame, which holds the banner and navigator, and the content frame.
And those two frames both have different blank and display different blank.
They both have different controls and display different information.
Let's continue. Technically, the main frame can be broken down into two smaller frames. What are they?
They are the banner frame along the top and the application navigator along the left side.
On the banner frame, from right to left, can you list the main widgets?
Yes, from right to left, you have the System Settings cog, the Help button, the Conversations button, Instance Search, the Profile dropdown, and then the Application and Update Set pickers if they are enabled.
What is the common name for the gear or sprocket icon seen in the top right?
That is generally recognized as the settings icon.
And clicking on that icon reveals which menu?
It reveals the System Settings menu.
What are the main sections within the System Settings menu?
They are General, Theme, Lists, Forms, Notifications, and the Developer section for admins.
True or false? The settings in the System Settings menu generally apply only to the current user who is signed in.
True. They are user-specific preferences.
True or false? You can freely toggle and modify system settings without worrying about breaking anything.
True. They are safe to change and experiment with.
True or false? Changing your time zone in the settings only impacts your current session.
True. It's a temporary change for that session only.
So, how do you modify your time zone permanently?
You'll need to navigate to your user profile record to make a permanent change.
And how do you find that user profile record?
By clicking your username at the top right of the page and then clicking the Profile link.
Next set. In the General tab of System Settings, what are some of the options you can control?
You can control accessibility options, compact the UI, select date and time formats, choose your time zone, and get a printer-friendly version of a page.
Which tab contains several pre-made ServiceNow themes, like System and Blues?
That's the Themes tab.
What is one of the first things a company often does when deploying ServiceNow to customize the look?
They often create a custom branded theme.
Which tab contains the option to wrap longer text in list columns?
The Lists tab contains that option.
If your instance was initially on the Helsinki version or later, which list plugin will be enabled by default?
The List v3 plugin will be enabled by default.
Which tab contains settings to enable tabbed forms and control when related lists load?
The Forms tab has those settings.
What are related lists?
They are lists of related records that appear at the bottom of forms.
And what is the purpose of a form?
Forms are where key data about an individual record is displayed and collected.
Selecting the After Form Loads option in the Related List loading section may improve what?
It may improve the load time performance of forms.
The Notifications tab in Settings allows you to control what?
It allows you to choose whether you get notifications on mobile, as desktop toasts, through email, or as audio.
All right, next 10. In Jakarta and later versions, what does the notifications menu show?
It shows the notifications that the platform may send out, organized by category.
In ServiceNow versions prior to Jakarta, what were notification channels called?
They were called devices.
The Developer tab in the settings is only available to users with which role?
It's only available to users with the admin role.
And what settings can you find on that Developer tab?
You can find settings relating to application and update set-based development.
By default, what should your selected update set say?
It should say Default Global.
What does it mean when the update set is default global?
It means that any configuration changes made will not be captured in a portable update set that you can move between instances.
What are some of the options included in the main screen element banner?
It includes the User menu, Help, Global Search, Connect, System Settings, and the banner logo and text.
To view current data with an existing report configuration, you would do what?
You would run the report.
To administer reports, roles, and reporting sources, where do you navigate?
You navigate to Reports, then Administration, and select the area you need to administer.
And what is the full path to view or run an existing report?
The path is Reports, then View/Run.
We're on the last batch now. A report is shown in the Report Builder or Report Blank.
Or Report Designer.
You can create a pie or bar chart report directly from a what?
Directly from a list.
To run a report from a list, you right-click the blank of the blank that contains the values you want to chart.
You right-click the header of the column.
What feature provides the ability to define a field on an extended table differently from the field on the parent table?
Dictionary overrides provide that ability.
Using a dictionary override, you can change the blank value on the incident table without affecting the blank value on the task table.
You can change the default value without affecting the default value on the parent.
And to finish, a dictionary override allows a field in a blank table to have a different value than the same blank in a blank table.
It allows a field in a child table to have a different value than the same field in a parent table.
What allows users to be informed of various activity occurring in the platform, whether it directly relates to them or not?
That would be subscriptions.
And that brings us to the end of our rapid-fire review. Wow, thank you so much for breaking down all of those key concepts. That was incredibly clear and thorough.
It was my pleasure. The fundamentals are essential, but the most important piece of advice I can give is that ServiceNow is always evolving. These questions are a fantastic baseline, but continuous learning is the real key.
That's excellent advice. So to everyone listening who is preparing for the CSA exam or an upcoming ServiceNow interview, we truly hope this session helps you build that solid foundation.
Absolutely. Take this knowledge, but as I said, always look for the new changes and updates directly from ServiceNow. That will ensure you don't just pass, but that you truly ace your certification exam.
Perfectly said. And if you'd like more tips, quick reference guides, and updates on the latest in the ServiceNow ecosystem, I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sky Shorts. We're always posting new content to help you on your certification journey.
A great resource. Best of luck to everyone.
Thanks again for your time, and thank you all for listening. We'll see you in the next one.